Hello everyone, myself Ketavut Manohar, and today we are here to present our course project of course called Smart Product Design, which is mentored by Professor Dr. Jayachandra Bingi. And now let me introduce our teammates as it is a group project. So here myself Ketavut Manohar and KADAPALA GOHARSH Megawat Venkatesh. So this is a brief introduction about my teammates and about my course. Here we have a problem statement of our project called Scarcity of Water in Hilly Areas During Summer Months. What you know about water as a natural resource? Water is one of the natural resources which are found in an adequate amount. It's an essential source for the existence of life on the planet Earth. It is widely used for various purposes such as drinking, washing, bathing, cleaning, cooking, irrigation, and other industrial and domestic uses. Now, let's look into our project description. One of the major problems being faced in hill areas is severe scarcity of water during the summer months. Places which are located in higher reaches and have witnessed rapid increase in population in the last few years often have to face severe shortage of water during the summer months. At most places, water supply is received from natural underground water systems. With rapid urbanization resulting in an increase in concrete surfaces, the water infiltration into ground during the rainy season has considerably decreased over the years. Thus, the natural sources often become insufficient to support the population which is dependent on them. Now, let us look deeply into our problem statement. Here, let's know who are customers to our problem statement. Okay, in generally, everyone knows that people who needs water as their resource to survive their life are called as customers. As they need it as resource for one of all activities that they are doing in their daily life. So, if we relate to the problem statement, the customers here are people and other living things which live in hilly areas. As we told that who are customers, and you should know that why they are customers. For example, if we take customer as a farmer, he needs water as a resource for his personal use and for his agricultural use. As they are using natural resources for having water in the time of scarcity, they need to adjust the use of the water for their activities. For example, drinking, washing, bathing, cleaning, cooking, irrigation. So all of these activities related to the problem statement in adjust of using water according to the availability involves farmer as a customer in hilly areas. As earlier, we do the example of the farmer as a customer. So we mentioned that he has his personal use and the agricultural use. So let's look deeply how his personal use is balanced in his daily life. Now this pie chart says us how he is balancing his personal use in his daily life. Okay, let's look the pie chart here. So let's go for the section of toilet. 24% of the water is consumed here, and 8% of the water is consumed to others, and 12% of the water is going to be leaked daily, and 17% of the water is using for washing the clothes, and 19% of the water he is using for faucet, and 20% of the water he is using as showers to consume his bath and other extra activities. So whole the pot is here. The pie chart says even if the people in hilly areas are having the water scarcity, they are adjusting using of water normally as according to their need. Now let's look deeply how the water is adjusted toward the agricultural use by the farmer. Uh, we know that farmers will cultivate different types of crops. So here the pie chart says that for different types of crops, how he is adjusting the water. Now let's look one by one. Now let's go for field crops. For field crops, he is using 6.4% of the water, and for the fruits, he is using 3.1% of the water. For greenhouse or nursery, he is using 7.1% of the water. For the hay, it's a type of plant. For it, it is 5.6% of the water. But here, when it comes to potatoes, it's just 1.9% of the water because it is an underground plant. So it needs less water comparative to others. And for others, he is using 2.5% of the water. Now let's look into the sugarcane. Sugarcane, he is using 33.6% of the water. Actually, it is less than what it needs, but according to the according to availability of water in the period of scarcity, he is giving more to the sugarcane as it needs more. So now let's look for the vegetables. For the vegetables, he is giving 14.7% of the water. It's the third largest water consuming in this pie chart. And now let's go for the citrus. It is the second largest, 25.2%. It consumes more water, I think, but according to the scarcity, he may giving the water very adjustable. So by this pie chart, we can learn that, and we can see that here he is even he's cultivating the different types of crops and different vegetables, different plants, many things. So as in the rainy and summer months, so we are using different types of crops, but here comes is in summer we has less water but compared to the rainy and winter seasons, so here it needs to adjust a lot. So that's what it says, even though the farmer is facing struggle with the scarcity in his area. Now let's look into the customer point of view at the time of water scarcity in hill areas during the summer months. So we know that people use water as one of the most needed resource in their daily life. So if you explain the problem statement in the customer's perspective, it says about the problems that the customer faced during the period of the water scarcity. At any cost, customer didn't have the advantage during the period of scarcity because it's the most important resource they need to survive their life. The scarcity of water usually affects a lot for the living things and for the people who are living in the hilly areas. So this says that in customer point of view, it may affects a lot because so for everything they need it. For every activity what they are doing in the daily life, they need it. So it will be the difficult phase for them at that period of time. Now if you see the personal point of view of a customer, it says that they need to adjust of using of water because the availability might not same as winter months in the summer months because they are facing the water scarcity problem mostly in the summer months. So even though in the hilly areas people might have natural sources to have the water, but that is not enough to hold the population living in that area as they have enough water in winter and rainy season. So they need to follow some methods to conserve the water in the rainy and winter season to store it for long time and use that water in the summer season. So that method is that water conservation pits they need to use. For example, if you say for the hilly areas, every customer's house needs to have a water conservation pit that helps in infiltrating the wastewater into the underground. So it helps them really a lot in the summer season because they have been conserved previously in conserve the water previously in the winter season in the storage tanks or conservation pits and many extra etc techniques which are useful for conserving the water. So the customer point of view it may be the difficult phase, but so they need to follow this to serve as long as they need, because in the summer season if they face any type of problems, if they have these techniques they can easily manage the adjustment of water for their personal use and for their agricultural use and for many activities which is done by water. Now if you look into the another methods, to conserve the water in the rainy and winter season that are useful. That water will be useful in the summer season at the time of water scarcity. So that method it called as rainwater syringe method that helps in storing the rainwater for a long time, and that can be used at the time of the scarcity. So here the customer personal perspective is need to be that they need to be very precautioned before these instances which will be going to happen in the future, like in the summer months, like in many other cases where the water get evaporated. So it might helpful them a lot. So in the at the end I would like to say that at the in personal perspective of the customers, they need to think that what will be the future. So if by predicting the future, if they protect or they conserve the water in rainy and winter season, that will be very helpful to them. So we'll be having many techniques such as here shows in the picture that water barrel, splash block, rain saucer. These are various techniques to save the rainwater, and that could be stored for a long time, and that is used in the summer. So this is what the customer's personal perspective looks at the time of water scarcity. So they need to be very careful and very precautionable themselves to serve as long as possible with the available water. So let's look customers agriculture perspectives. As agriculture is one of the source which helps the farmer to survive their life. Anyhow, we people know that without the water it is not possible to cultivate the crops. At the time of the water scarcity, they need to follow some technical methods which helps in saving of water such as drip irrigation. It might be difficult for them to adjust the water for all crops at the time of the scarcity. So they might have conserved the water in rainy season and winter season for the further use. As earlier, we learned that there are many methods and many techniques to conserve the water in the rainy season and winter season that will be helpful in the summer season. So here the customers face a lot of difficulties to protect their crops with the less availability of water at the time of scarcity. But to manage the water on the average level for all types of crops that they have been cultivated, they might need to use the method called cycle run water pumping. It is a very important method that will use in the agriculture purpose and saves your water a lot. So here when cycle wheel rotates, the water will be sprinkled out from the pipes. So at the end, thank you guys for listening this video. So we hope that you understand the concepts and the perspectives which we have been explained up to now. So if you have any queries regarding these concepts and understanding, you can comment below the video. So thank you. Have a nice day.